Congratulations on yet another return to Ahsoka in Rebuild the Galaxy. I remember watching the first season and just kind of being in love with the play of it all. And getting to come back is, I'm sure, feels really like fulfilling and wonderful. But getting to do it in such a fun kind of space in the Star Wars universe adds a different layer. So what did that phone call even look like, and how quickly did you say yes?
Oh, I, I think it was one of the fastest yeses I've ever given. Um, I got a call from my agent, as it usually happens. I think everyone often expects it to be like some big ceremonial thing, and it's really not. You just, you get a call from your agent, and they're always so matter of fact about it. They're like, "So here's an offer. Would you like to voice Ahsoka again?" And then I'm like, "Yes, yes, I would. Oh my gosh!" So I, as I've said, I definitely cried, because Dave Filoni promised me that I'd always be the voice of Ahsoka in animation, but I don't know if she's going to come back.
Yeah.
So, just because I have this promise doesn't mean we're going to hear her again. So I don't know. I just kind of sit and wait until I get the call. And so when I got the call, it was definitely, tears of joy for sure. And to return in such a fun way. I'm a massive Lego fan as well. So to get to mash up two of my great loves, Lego and Star Wars, was really cool.
Is there any kind of difference to the approach when you do Ahsoka in a Brickhead's form? Because I know that initially Ahsoka was kind of just your personality and you as a person. And I know the character has grown so much because of the groundwork that you laid down. But what does a Lego version versus the animated version even look like?
Well, here's the thing. Ahsoka looks very different in this. She is a brickheads. Like she's definitely, it's going to take a minute, for people to first see her to be like, "Oh, okay, this is not, she doesn't look like what we're used to." However, it's the same voice. It's she has the same heart, and that was important to me, and something that I've actually spoken with Dan and Benji about is how happy I was that they captured Ahsoka's spirit and her heart, and her warmth and her light. So it's the same Ahsoka. Fans should not be worried about that. In fact, her storyline is, that it could be an episode of Clone Wars. Even though the galaxy looks different and there's, some different characters, it's still the same Ahsoka. And so fans, I know by the end of it, they're gonna just fall in love with Ahsoka just like they have in Clone Wars and Rebels and all the other things.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the Brickhead's Ahsoka is that she just kind of towers over everyone just because of the build. So whenever she shows up on scene, I have to do I have to call out the action in season two or Pieces of the Past because it's so dynamic and cool to see lightsabers moving that way. Plus, you have like the force building. I don't know, it's just like a really inventive space. And with the what if nature of Rebuild the Galaxy, I listened to your Hype Friend episode with Dan and Benji,
Oh,
and just like knowing that they were fans prior and then getting to like then create in this universe. Is there a story that you've always wanted to tell of Ahsoka that you could do maybe in the future, but haven't gotten to tell because of the limitations of canon?
oh, that is a great question. Um, One that I'm not often asked. Um, you mean in terms of storyline or characters or just anything?
Yeah, I mean, like just because it's so open, you know what I mean?
Yes,
We finally got Darth Jar Jar, like from
yes,
meme to reality. But
yes.
is there like a place you'd like to take the character and kind of like drop her in, like a dark Ahsoka or something
Oh my,
within in that realm? Yeah.
you know, I, I will say that th- they're so, I guess the fans' voices matter.
Yeah.
Like your voices matter. And if there's more you want to see, people do listen. And, there's so many stories left to tell. There's, I mean, such a big gap still
Yeah.
between Clone Wars and where we pick up with the Ahsoka series. There's so much more for me personally that I would like to do with Ahsoka. And I think there's a lot more room for Ahsoka in animation. And so if there's something you want to see, um, say it.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni came out and admitted that he cast Rosario Dawson because of the fan cast. That fans started asking for her as Ahsoka, and that is what brought Rosario to his attention. And so personally, I would love more Ahsoka in animation, and I think there's a lot more stories left to tell. So I throw it out. I ask for it all the time. I'm like,
Totally.
hey, if you're listening, personally, I will say this. I would love, and you know what? I am gonna give you something, because this is a dream of mine. I talk a lot about manifesting your dreams. I would love for one day to have an animated Ahsoka movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Heck yeah.
I would love that. And it's something I dream about quite often, actually. And I'm a believer in, and you got to take your dreams out of your head and throw them out into the universe. So, you know what? I will throw that out into the universe, that
We
I
love it.
love to have an animated Ahsoka movie at some point.
I love that. I love the idea of manifesting. I do think there's a lot of power in that, especially like the value you hold for those things. But that makes me curious because you are an entrepreneur. Like you have your podcast, you have your business, you do these incredible fashion shows at Comic-Con, right? And on top of that, you're a working voice actor. I'm curious for you, like Dan and Benji, because they're mega fans, because you love Star Wars so much. Have you ever considered getting involved with more writing or producing or even directing a project?
So great question. I'm actually doing that right now. Not for Star Wars, but for Disney. So we announced it. Actually, it's been 2 years now since
Wow.
we announced it. I've been working on it for uh, over 6 years. um, but I'm co-creating, executive producing, and the voice of the lead character in a new audio drama for Disney. So it's a completely new story, completely new franchise. But if you like Star Wars, you like Ahsoka, you're going to love this. We've also announced that my co-creator is Jeff Gomez. He's known for many things, Magic the Gathering. He's worked with Disney on
Mm,
many franchises to expand the franchise in publishing for, everything from Pirates of the Caribbean to Tinkerbell and the Fairies. But I am reunited with Henry Gilroy, who was also one of the co-creators with Ahsoka Tano, along with Dave Filoni and me. And Henry was crucial to Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and he's also been massively involved in a producer on the Marvel animation side. He cast me as Dagger in Cloak and Dagger.
so cool.
So I've done many things thanks to Henry. And I've been working with him since 2006. So to reunite with him has been a dream come true. So we're working on it now. It's been really exciting to be sitting in a co-creator and executive producer seat. Um, and I'm involved in every step of the way, from, conceiving the story to, even the business end of the story of like the
Hmm.
contracts and the negotiations to the helping. I have a seat in the writer's room, um, to conceiving, to creating, to everything, and then bringing it to fruition. Even with the music and the merchandise, like every step of the way, I'm involved. So it's very exciting to have a seat at the table, and it's one that I want to share, and I'm going to take everyone along the way, because I want to share my journey. This has been one of the hardest projects in my life to bring to fruition. like I said, it's already 6.5 years in the making. And so, I think a lot of people are going to see it and be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. She's Ahsoka Tano. So I'm sure Disney just gave her this opportunity. No, I have many people at Disney who, yes, opened the door for me, have been very kind. But this has been such a labor of love. I cannot even tell you. And one that I've had to fight every step of the way for to just make it happen. While you can have people that support you, you have to put the work in and you have to believe in it and fight for it. And so I'm very excited about it and can't wait to share more with you. But right now, that's all I can say. But I think if you like Ahsoka and you like Star Wars, you're gonna love this story.
I always have so much respect for people who are so good at like keeping their secrets because it's hard to talk about things that you've been working on for so many years. So
Yes,
thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that.
thank
But
you.
like I said, I was listening to Hype Friend, and I just kind of love the wholesomeness of it all. I love seeing you and Michael's relationship. I love kind of the energy that you bring out of in your guests as well. And one of my favorite things is that I think everyone's kind of getting insight to what friendship looks like in like different
Yes.
spaces and between different people. And I was just curious from like a human to human standpoint, what has been like maybe your most profound lesson that you've taken since starting up the podcast?
Ooh. Um, well, there's an episode that we just filmed or and recorded. It'll be out within like the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna go ahead and share it with you. It's Delilah, from the radio, Delilah,
Oh
the
yeah,
Delilah, the
that's
Delilah.
amazing.
We've been talking about this, and she's actually the first guest that we manifested.
Oh
Now,
wow.
granted, Michael is friends with her, so we did have, he was in or she was in his network, but we talked about it before he even reached out to her. Um, she says such, and she brought on her hype friend, her best friend, and she actually asked us if that was okay. And it's been her longtime producer for the past 30 years. And it's such a beautiful episode. And I have to say, she made me cry, tears of just joy. And without spoiling too much before it comes out, or I don't know, by the time people might be listening to this, it might be out and they've seen it. I just felt seen, like Delilah could see my heart and I could see hers. And Ahsoka taught me this too. And I don't think I will ever be able to put into words. And of course, I'm actually getting choked up right now. So many, so many people say to me, they say, man, why do you care about Ahsoka so much? Why, like, why don't you go off and do other things and other roles? And I try to tell people, I'm like, you don't understand. I feel like I won the lottery, and there's very few roles, and some actors can have the most prolific careers and they will never get a role like Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka changes and saves lives. Like, she speaks to people and she enters their soul and she enters their heart, and she just takes up residence, and she speaks to people from all different walks of life. And you know I'm one of those people where I as a reflection of Ahsoka, I want to be a real life version of her. And you know I don't know what it's like to walk in each person's shoes. We all feel how we feel or believe what we believe because of what's happened to us, because of the shoes that we've walked in. And until somebody else walks in our shoes, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say that you should believe a certain way, because you know what? I haven't lived your life and I haven't walked in your shoes. All I can do is love you. And and Delilah spoke about love, and she has talked to millions, if not billions, of people every night. And she hears their stories, and it's important to her to give them love. And Delilah, I feel like, saw my heart, and I saw hers. And I have to say, to tie it back into Ahsoka, my heart, Ahsoka changed my heart. And all I want to do is, if Ahsoka is reaching people in their life where they're at, I want to be a real life version of Ahsoka, and I want to love people as an extension of Ahsoka. I want to love people and meet them where they're at, no matter who they are. And so you'll see in this episode, I just start crying because she was able to put into words how I feel. And so sorry, that's a very long answer. Uh for what you ask. But yeah, that moment talking with Delilah, really, I felt so seen. And
I'm
and
so,
and that's what this is all about. Feeling invisible is one of the worst feelings in the world, but having someone see you and feel visible is really what a hype friend is all about, to have someone in your life that truly sees you. And so yeah, I'm excited to share the story.
I'm excited to see it. I just love your passion for fandom. I love your passion for Ahsoka. That's why I'm still always gunning for a cameo of you in the live action. But I can't wait to see that episode and continue watching your journey. Thank you so much for taking time. Can't wait to see what else you bake. But I appreciate you so much. Thank you.